Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
Brex.
So, here's my question for you. It's Rare Whiskey Friday. We're just continuing the Whistlers line. Which, if you can around a total wine, it's a lot easier to get. This is the Bowen Distillery. We talked about these guys.
Okay.
Right, Bowen is doing. They were sourcing. They began in 2015, so now they're, 5-6 years old.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of.
And we did their 7-year-old,
Goodness.
which means it was sourced.
Yeah.
And we did one of the other ones. But this is a whole line of what they call their finishing series.
Okay.
I mean, just in general, they're doing all kinds of random stuff.
Yeah.
So, do we want to pour one of each or two of each?
Well,
Do you want to share or not?
2 of each.
Okay.
Why would you?
Do you want to do it all at the same time or just work our way through?
Let's work our way through.
Okay. So, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Because it took so long for us to get to these, we had 4 of them sent by one person, Chad Upchurch, who is a patron saint of whiskey.
Shut up, church.
You're a patron saint of whiskey.
Suck it, Brad.
But also, Donald Dunn sent us 2 of these.
Yeah.
A magnificent bastard.
Donald Dunn, you magnificent
Bastard!
So let's see. We've got the Beer Barrel Stout Double Oak, which was started in bourbon and then went into sherry.
What's Calvados?
The Calvados is it's like a brandy. It's like apple or pear brandy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the specifically Oloroso sherry cask finish, which is somehow different from the double oak, but I don't know how. Because in theory, that's what the double oak is.
So
you want to start double oak?
These will be the first 2 that we do to see what kind of difference.
Okay, let's do those together.
Yeah.
So
Automatically, the Oloroso sherry one. This is ever so slightly darker than the double oaked.
I'm going to keep them in the order they are in front of you
Okay.
on your glasses.
Jeez. Oh, so I think it's your turn.
For Rare Whiskey Friday?
Yes,
Okay.
all in one breath.
Welcome to Rare Whiskey Friday. We're going to go through and sample a few things. Some of these are larger brands. More often than not, they are craft without a large amount of distribution. If you should be so lucky as to live in an area where you can get your hands on one of these bottles, you're welcome for the review. And thank you to the magnificent bastard who sent it in.
So, perfect smoothness.
Yeah.
There's a few, not quite the words.
Come on, I even had vibe instead of monotone.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me some credit there.
So, smoothness?
Yes, I do know.
That was a 10.
I do know I got some of the wording wrong.
Yeah, so you get like 7 out of 10 with the wording.
No, I got to be at least 8 or 9. I only flubbed on like 2 words.
So, how important is accuracy versus, people...
Vibe and delivery?
Well, they get it.
Like I'm a music performer.
Right.
The accuracy is very low on my standard list.
Hendrix City one?
Yeah. Okay, so first left hand, double oak. So they mix together malt and grain, and then they put them in 2 different cask types, ex-bourbon and Oloroso sherry.
Okay.
And maybe they're blending.
Ex-bourbon and Oloroso?
Yeah, but then,
And this is just Oloroso?
no, this is also both. I don't know what is their difference?
I'm saying, though,
Fucking confusing, guys.
but I'm saying on the nose, you can pick out a difference. So
Yes.
there's something that they're doing which is making the product noticeably different on the nose.
But in theory, if you read the back, this is the same fucking process. Starting bourbon, going to sherry. Starting bourbon, going to sherry. One called double oaked, one called Oloroso. What the hell's going on here?
So I'm gonna tell you right now.
Matchstick. The double oaked has a just burnt match.
And this Oloroso sherry has an apple, a freshly cut Honeycrisp apple.
Burnt match.
Yes,
Right?
Honeycrisp apple in the
Yes.
Oloroso sherry. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's bizarre.
I'm looking forward to, based on
That one I'm looking forward to more.
that apple is really nice.
Well, your palate is very sherry, but it's kind of flat.
And
the proof on
the
this.
char shows up.
Yeah. 40.
The barrel char,
43.
it's like a softer sweetness with a barrel char note. Not incredibly layered and complex, but the flavors that are there, it's going to be like a pretty, what'd you say, 40%? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And finishes with it's like a creamy little bit of a creamy honey.
Yep.
Creamy honey.
I can't get away from that burnt mash. Every time I pick up the glass, I smell just the whiff of a burnt mash.
It's the char.
And it's
I like
throwing.
burnt.
No, that's going to be, for me, the sherry cask mixed with the
Really?
bourbon barrel, the barrel note accenting it.
To me, that comes across as like a char note. Like there's
Yeah,
a
but I
campfire and
always
the charred
get
wood in the campfire.
That burnt sulfur from sherry cask stuff. It's usually really mild
Yeah.
and funky, but here it's like burnt, just straight up sulfur.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Now, this nose on the Oloroso is better.
Yeah, it's more body, more sweetness. Had that sweet apple.
And the palate is more sherry. Like, I don't know if that sherry barrel was totally dumped to empty. That's sherry cask.
Ooh.
So sherry cask.
Candied fruits. Candied fruits. And then a very sweet vanilla, creamy note on the finish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I so far, this is winning.
I agree.
So set that aside as the winner, and we'll stage this.
Okay. So we
And
got
what we'll do is compare each one to,
The
do you
Cal-
like it as at least, no, we're going to do
Imperial Stout and the
Calvados first.
Calvados.
Then-
Right.
Yeah, we'll start here. So Calvados is an apple or a pear brandy from Normandy, France, typically, right?
apple.
Now,
or
it's a category
pear.
thing.
Apple or
Yeah,
pear.
it's typically apple or pear brandy,
Okay.
which is, barrel-aged spirits.
Sure.
Brandy is the new whiskey for a lot of whiskey nerds.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is malt and grain blend
Comparatively,
going from bourbon to Calvados cask.
it's a more dry nose than the Oloroso.
It is. I would have expected it to be more densely sweet, but it's
I would too.
the grain whiskey
Yeah.
is taking over. It's a little more sweet brittle.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more of a well put together, balanced, rounded sweetness on the Oloroso so far. I still haven't tasted this, but it's
It's in the taste.
more simple, more dry.
The brandy is in the taste. You get that sort of fruit, distilled fruit sweetness.
It's jammy.
Yeah.
This is dried fruits. This is jammy fruits.
Yeah. Okay. So Oloroso still winning for me.
Yeah. Not as much as it was winning on the double oak.
No. This is coming in second place. So here, let's do this. Okay. So now we're going to drop in the stout cask.
Okay.
So for you, it is first place, second place, third place so far.
This is.
Let's see where the stout falls in the lineup.
Well, I mean, you arranged it for us. Camera would be first, second, third.
Is it left to right? Is first always on? I always thought first is on the right-hand side. I was trying to do it for
No,
them.
let you going in order like first, second, third, like you're reading left to right.
I guess so. I was actually trying to arrange it for them.
He was trying to be considerate.
Yeah.
I know you hear that.
Yeah, here you go.
Still construction.
Oh, whoa. No, I would have called that craft with that weird tailsy funk.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh. Yeah. So it's a note that you find in craft.
Yeah.
I also think it's shortchanging the entire craft space. Whenever you find something that's funky and weird that you don't like, and you go, craft. It's like,
Yeah, no,
what?
you're right. But like, it's not something I ever find in big brands.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's-
but to say that note, that's a craft note. Like, no, it's a more specific note.
To me, that's either fermentation went weird, or which is unlikely, or it went really far into the tails and got some of the musty off notes, phenolic notes from this cut.
Get like a-
But I think this is grain.
I get like, I don't know, why Saison beer? There's a Saison note that's coming to
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not-
our saison casks.
Yeah, and the stout, I'm generally thinking the stout as being kind of like a
Creamy,
creamier, softer, yeah. But this
No, this nose, the beer just dominated the shit out of this, and I don't know that from the nose I would like that beer.
there's maybe, again, there's some more char in that background.
Yeah, and it tastes like a slightly soured, flat beer finish.
Oh,
Like
but
low carbonation.
there's a coffee quality.
There is a coffee note
Yeah.
that's hiding in there.
Yeah, about halfway through it shows up.
I cannot do that nose.
No?
That nose is throwing me. That nose pushes it to last place by a long shot for
reticent.
me. I love the Jameson Stout. It's one of my favorite Jamesons.
I would put them like.
Do not like that.
I would put them like this.
Yeah.
Think I can do it? Think I can?
Yeah, I think you could. Jesus, if we shadow the glass underneath this thing. Keep an eye on it. Now, can you do another one? Now, go back to the Oloroso. I'll hold this and you do the top. You do the next one.
Really?
Yeah.
This might be like. Oh, dude, there's no way.
I think you can do it.
All right, first we'll get this one situated. Oh, come on.
Nah, there's no way. All right. So everyone just had a heart attack. All right. That Oloroso is great
Yeah.
compared to everything else.
Was this? Yeah. Going back to
This
it.
smells more like a Scotch than an Irish whiskey. If you're telling me this Oloroso is an Irish whiskey, I wouldn't believe it.
You know what? There's
The
a
nose is Speyside Scotch.
going back to the Oloroso, coming off the heels of the Imperial. There's like a maple note in this now.
Absolutely. Now the palate, maybe.
It's very maple. Wow. ABs are fun, man.
Seriously.
Do not turn the ankle that way.
I don't know that would ever. Oh, easy. I don't know that I would ever classify that as an Irish. Like if you did a blind tasting and you put it in a Scotch lineup,
Yep.
I wouldn't find an outlier.
I agree. That said, Irish, like the entire scene, I think a few years ago, it was much more narrowly defined of what you're gonna find in Irish whiskey.
Yes.
I think it's becoming much more like the American scene.
Yeah.
To where
There's variations.
typically you think American whiskey is you got bourbon, right? Well, between the bourbons, what rye is doing now, which is like you can have a rye that is 1,000 miles away from a licorice note.
Yeah.
What the single malts are doing, what like the smoked malts are doing now.
Yeah.
It becomes a much more all-encompassing, wide-ranging spectrum of flavors, and I think this is probably a good representation of that.
Yeah.
This is not the Irish shortbread, buttery, cookie, vanilla note that you've had in dozens of Irish before.
But it's really good.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's defining stealing and drinking.
If you fight me, a fight for a friend.
Steal, may you steal your liver, sorry.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.